All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion Lads. I am your host, JR, and today we got Jose and Nick. What's going on, guys?
Ooh, we got a wild Nick appearance.
I feel like my camera's out of focus. Like seems like I'm all
Cause
blurry.
you, is Jar even real? Does he
I
exist right now?
know. Is that
He's
why
using AI while the real Jar sleeps.
I'm a robot?
What's up, guys? How
So,
you
a
doing?
couple of stuff happened today. Well, not today, but this week, and I think last week as well, but we didn't cover it. Oh, we didn't. We skipped last week. That's right. Totally forgot
Yeah,
about
we
that.
we needed we needed JR and Jose, two guys, one cast, needed a break.
Right.
And Nick came to save the day today.
Well, it's just there's only so much you could talk about, right?
Yeah.
Especially with I think the news for Legion is slowing down, but that's fine because they already have a roadmap to everything that's announced. So we're just waiting for those things to pop up, right?
Yeah. They've got a big month plan for Shatterpoint MCP, so there's a lot coming out.
It hurts. It hurts so much.
MCP, we just got Apocalypse, that
Mhm.
mammoth model. It's so
Oh,
beautiful. So
oh.
beautiful. Simple rules. It's awesome.
No, I'm not a fan of MCP. I am a
Come
fan. I'm just not
on.
a fan of I don't care for all the characters, right? Like I care about Venom, Wolverine. That's
You can
about it.
play them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Come on,
would.
Nick. We
You
got to
know what I
get him,
really
Nick. We got
want?
to get him.
What I really want, and I told my cousin this about HeroClix, which they actually did come out with, is I want them to do like Venom Iron Man, Venom Hulk, Venom,
Venomized.
yeah, Venomized stuff. Like then I'll be into it, right? Uh,
Technically, you can make any character venomous. It's a card.
Yeah, there's a card.
okay, but hold on, Nick. Are you gonna let me proxy models?
Well, no, you just use the normal model and paint it differently.
Yeah, so if I get a proxy Iron Man that's Venomized, I'd be like, all right, I'm playing Iron Man.
No, no, not a proxy. You have to buy the AMG Iron Man. Then you can use actual AMG parts to modify your model.
Where's the fun in that? um,
That's how you do it.
what you call it? Yeah, that's so frustrating. They got so much stuff coming out for Shatterpoint. I always see news about that. MCP, Legion's kind of just there.
There's only so much they can release at a time though, because not only is it stuff that they've had planned in the pipeline, but they also gotta go through Big Daddy Disney for approval and stuff. So
Well, they got to do the same thing with Shatterpoint.
I feel like it's easier for those
it's
games.
easier. It's single
It's
minis versus armies
single
and
single minis or squads that everyone can buy, right? So every time an MVP model comes out, even if you don't even play that affiliation, you can still buy it and play it. It's different.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But it's if they put that much time into Legion as they did Shatterpoint and MCP, we'd have a more streamlined game, in my opinion.
Or a finished game.
Yeah, which we're gonna talk about that by the way. Um,
Okay.
which just makes me think I don't know why. I don't you know what, honestly, that just changed my train of thought. We're just gonna go into it.
Okay.
So Gray
shoot, baby,
Squadron,
shoot.
Gray Squadron Gaming, love their channel, love their games. I don't know, have you guys heard of them?
I have. Yeah.
What about
I've,
you?
I've
Heard of
watched a little
them?
bit.
I haven't watched.
They do amazing games and everything. Like every time they've done a game, I watch it and it's always fun to watch. But they did an interview with Will Schick, who is I think the leading designer on no, he's the VP of product development
Yeah.
for Atomic Mass Games. But he had mentioned a couple things that I wanted to touch on. Okay. The biggest one that I want to touch on, that's okay. Let me strike that. Not the biggest one. This is
So
like
upset.
a minor thing, and it's more of like an ick for me, right? So they asked him what was his favorite Legion unit, and I want you guys to guess.
It's a Gar unit, Anakin.
Pathfinders.
Art Troopers.
Oh.
and, then, he said Art Troopers. And he even said it in the interview, like he was gonna get a lot of flack for that, and he's right. I mean, what are the best units right now in the game? Art Troopers. And then he said his He said his second favorite unit. Can you guys guess what that is?
Anakin.
Rebel Mandos.
B2s. B2 super battle droids. So,
B2s are not as busted as ARCs though.
no,
But they still got really good. They still
Yeah.
got
But
a
they're
lot of
not.
improvement.
There's a difference between really good and really stupid. ARCs are really stupid. B2s are good.
You know, there's a lot of units that I'm finding that are really stupid. The fleet troopers. I didn't know they have charge.
Yeah, all the gun
Mhm.
pistols have charge now.
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
Most of the trooper pistols have charge.
No. My bugs don't have charge.
Yeah.
B2s don't have charge.
You don't need the charge. You got the free jump and the free jump to get in the range.
B2.
So CIS doesn't have it. Is your gripe?
Yes, that's my problem.
Okay, yeah,
No,
nah, screw you.
Yeah,
I just found out.
But you don't suffer from suppression or anything. So
That's not true. My bugs suffer from that all the time.
yeah, but you're B.
Yeah, sure. B2s, they don't suffer. Like I just because John and Michael played a game and he charged with fleet troopers. I was like, okay, everybody's got charged now. It's just interesting. I'm still getting used to everything having new keywords. I even forgot that BXs have jump keyword now.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, wow.
Which makes their unhindered or scale useless.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could
I
still
bet you we're
still
gonna get a new B2 car. We're gonna get I think units that haven't got touched and stuff are gonna have good changes in the second half. Like I wouldn't be surprised if BXs get like a rework where they just got rid, not even a rework, just hey, this unhindered whatever doesn't even matter.
But it does though. Wait. I gotta stop you. It does though. You can only jump
Okay.
once. So if you want to move twice, you can now move through that difficult terrain without, suffering the difficult terrain, right? So it still does matter. It still does matter.
There's not
And
enough terrain on the map for that.
there
I just gotta
should be
jump and move.
there
But there's
should be
not.
a
There's
lot of
not.
Yeah,
There's
well,
not.
you're playing the wrong game, my man. I don't know what game you're playing.
You seen the table Rob built for us? I just had to jump a building and I had free reign.
I mean, and it's also to know if you have skill, you can go up to height 2. Usually
Yeah.
jump is jump 1. I know some characters break that, but that's also something to know. Which
Well, here's the other
especially
thing.
the BXs, they have skill and jump 1. So
Terrain discussion, baby. Sorry, no difficult terrain. Roll for it.
what do you mean?
You discuss your terrain before the game. I'm gonna be like, there's no difficult, difficult terrain. Everything is just walk through, phase through it.
Yeah, it's just an interesting conversation when you have with people. It's like, what do you want to do with this? I find myself just being like, everything's heavy, everything's height 1, unless it's clearly height 2. And then like, yeah, difficult is very minuscule.
I hate when you're like, what are we gonna do? And your opponent's like, I don't know. What?
Who said I don't know?
No, I'm just saying, like, I've heard, not throwing names, but there's been I don't knows, and I'm just like, advantage time.
Gaming.
You can't tell me what I'm about to say is wrong because like you just said I don't know, so therefore your opinion doesn't count. But no, yeah, I get it.
I feel like that's an I don't know about when you ask someone where they want to eat. It's just like they know where they don't want to eat, but they don't know where they do want to eat. So yeah.
I have a wife. She does that all the time.
You know the trick to that, right?
I buy what I want and she's gonna eat it anyways because that's what she does.
The trick is you ask her, hey, guess where I'm gonna take you today? And she goes and she'll say what she actually wants, and that's where you take her.
Ah, see, boys, we are now a relationship podcast. Notes.
But don't tell her that, because you tell her that, then the trick's gone and she knows everything.
Yep.
She doesn't watch the podcast. She's like, nah, you nerds.
Right. But go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say, so what else did Wheel Chick say that was his
so
other thing?
One that I think you're gonna like. He had mentioned that commanders and operatives are going to be treated differently for the different factions, because they asked them if they could give any spoilers for Legion, and that was a spoiler that upcoming every faction is going to have a new different type of how to do commanders and operatives. I assume that
what does that mean? I
think it meant like Rebel, you're able to take more commanders. Like let's say hypothetically, because the only faction, right, that's actually in Battle Forces can take more commanders. So like Shadow Collective, you could take 4 commanders. So imagine seeing Rebels take 5 commanders and can take 3 operatives. That's my
Does that
speculation.
make them better though? That just means their
Yeah,
core slimmer.
so yeah, as a role player, I want to take more operatives, not more commanders. But so when he said that, that's what you got from that? That was just a force org
Yeah.
change.
He pretty much
Okay.
just said that commander and operators are going to be treated for different factions. So he did mention each faction is going to be treating it differently, but he didn't go into details about what that was because that was a spoiler.
Ooh,
So
guard can take an operative or a commander, but not both. There's
honestly,
your there's your guard nerf.
I think I think I think we're going to see guard be able to take more commanders, and then like Nick said, a rebel take more operatives. Um, and then I don't know. I hope they don't nerf CIS and be like, all right, you can only take 1 operative. Like, no, I need my Sith users. I don't know what they would do with Empire, but speculation. What do you guys think?
So, and maybe this is just the rebel player, I guess, in me. If they do it for all the factions, then it doesn't feel special for any of them. Like, so
Well,
the rebels is the one faction where you're supposed to rely on your hero more so than any other, right?
yeah.
Give me more heroes. Don't give all the other factions heroes too.
Well,
Everyone can do it. That doesn't
that's
matter.
that's actually what I'm scared about. I'm scared that so now it's not going to be the 2-2 anymore. I think some factions are going to be 4-1 or 3-3 and then like 2-4, right? I feel like that's going to be the new thing for each factions. And so I think someone's going to get a nerf and someone's going to get a buff. And
I hate that because that takes away what makes Shadow Collective so fun,
I,
like part of their quirk.
but I have a hard time with any limitation they put that it'd be less than 2. Like you're not gonna. I don't think anyone would go down to 1 in any slot.
I can see them doing that to CIS.
What?
Yeah, because
No,
CAS technically only ever have 1 commander on the field, right?
that'd be dumb.
Because like I don't ever see 2 commanders ever. I mean, obviously I'm going off the cartoon shows and the shows and movies, but you had a T series commanding droids, then you had a super tech commanding droids. They were never together. So I feel like that's a potential nerf that could come. Now this is all speculation. There's nothing
Yeah.
set in
Oh yeah.
stone. Yeah.
Ooh, here's good speculation. They're finally gonna realize that Maul was never part of the CIS, so they just ban his model.
Okay. No, that's not fun. Let's not do that.
No, then you can come to the Ducatista side and run a real force user.
That's like the same thing about saying about Andor and Han. You can't take them. That's another limitation. You can't take them both together. Or
You
Sabine
can.
and
They're
Han.
both rebels. They were both rebels.
They
Why
were
not?
there at the same time, right? I mean, technically Maul was there for the CAS start, right?
They well,
Oh
Han and
no! Oh
Andor,
no!
Han and Andor weren't together.
Sure.
Both there. We're
Hold
both
on.
doing things.
Hold on. Andor became a rebel far before Han became a rebel. And is Han really a rebel?
Yeah.
I mean, Han's
He
for
chased the
himself.
girl and became a rebel.
Right.
He's for himself. He's in it
Became
for
a
the money.
general.
Hot
General
take:
just
they should make Han, um, what's the word I'm looking for? A mercenary.
oh God. I'm so sick of mercenaries. Mercenaries is the dumbest freaking.
I'm with you. I don't like it either. I hated that these mercenaries came out. It's like, but
Just make them part of the faction.
yes, I don't even care for like. Don't get me wrong. Shadow Collective is cool, but I wish it just didn't exist and it was just part of some faction. Like Shadow Collective technically going to be a battle force for CIS, right? Because it was during the CIS era. Um, but I get why they did it. It's a cool gimmick, but not entirely fun all the time.
I just don't like the force org. I think everything else is the same, but I don't like that they limited on my slots. I have to take command cards, take extra. Like I don't like any of that.
Well, maybe with this new how to treat commander and operatives, it changes. So
I don't know. It just sounds like that's the speculation is fun, but that sounds like too I don't know when I think of like changes, like spoilers, like I think that something's going to be like fun and not even fun, just something different. Like a four-star exchange, we've seen four-star exchanges, period. Like all you do is just mix that up. Like I hope what he means by that is like I don't know, like something else,
I mean, it could be
like
that.
maybe like rules, like if you have three commanders you get access to this ability, or you get four operatives, because rebels run four operatives, you get access to this ability, like like if you have four operatives they all get agile one, you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
something like that would make sense. But just a simple four-star exchange I'm not a fan of, because like at the end of the day, you're playing Hero Hammer with Rebels. You still need like some beef to get chewed through, and just taking more heroes like takes away from that beef. I'd much rather
I don't
like if
know.
No, I'd rather take heroes. At least with what my choices are right now, I'd rather take more heroes.
I mean, did you see Lila's this? You were talking about
yeah,
Zoya.
but that's a red save hero with
Yeah,
medics and all that
sure,
stuff. Like
sure.
that was spicy as hell.
Hey,
But
am
even
I
then to be like
good?
how you said, like, oh, Gar would be able to take three. Like Gar has enough trouble taking two, and you're gonna take three? Like that makes no sense.
I mean, it'd be cool to run three Jedi's, right? Obi-Wan,
If we
Anakin,
had a cheap one,
and uh Yoda.
Oh,
Sure,
what's Ventress? Like one what?
so wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute,
130.
wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah, if we had a cheap four season, maybe.
That's why they're making this change then.
Because you got
That's why
Ahsoka
they're
coming out.
so Gar can bring more Jedi. You said
Yes.
he says Gar's his favorite, right?
Gar
So
buff.
Yep.
is to
Yep.
bring Gar.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
just joking.
Well,
He's
on that,
he say when we were gonna get the rest of the game.
he did talk about that. So then they asked them. There was a moment where they asked him about, "Are you guys happy with the overall balance?" And he admitted that Gar is performing exceptionally well. He also thinks that the White Saves armies are suffering. So they both see that.
White
Um,
Save Army, singular. One White Save Army. What? There's one left. There's one White Save Army.
well,
I use white
I
saves.
mean, Ewok Battle Force, so White Save army.
That doesn't count. That's not it.
But he did admit that. So now that they see that and they're acknowledging that, they also said that a lot of that stuff is going to come next. Is it this year? No, next year. Next
2025.
year when the rest of the cards get released, right?
Is that Q1? Would did he give us
No,
No, it's
it's like
summertime.
June. Yeah,
Yeah,
summer.
yeah. He specifically said Rebels, like, because he sees the Rebels underperforming, but like, uh, I don't want to be quoted wrong, but I pretty much think he said like the rest of the cards are going to come out and you guys will see them. But it sucks, right? Because you can't play with that stuff right now. So it's just like, okay, my whole army is going to suffer until June, right?
Well, me and Nick can play MCP until June. A complete game.
You see, this is where how you guys are just feeding them, right? You're just like, all right, we'll go to MCP where your baby's at, and since you guys made this game better, you don't have to touch Legion anymore. No, guys, I want you to be mad and upset. Time to fix it. um, what else did I want to touch on? That was their spoilers. I think that's pretty much it. Everything else, they mentioned about upgraded cards, like Moff Gideon getting his suit of armor. But he pretty much said like, I think you guys would rather have the miniature with the armor on as opposed to an upgraded card for that. So
So a new
that,
Gideon model.
yeah, that tells me that that's in the works, right? That be coming here. But other than that, it was pretty much just talking about the changes of the rules and where they came to the conclusion of, which obviously everybody, even you guys, should give it a good watch because how he explained the 2.6 rule changes kind of makes sense. Like I get it, right? It's not everyone's gonna like the changes. There's some changes that kind of suck, but like I understand their point of view for the cover change a little bit more. It's kind of the same thing that they explained already, but a little bit more in depth. Which it's very swingy, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Uh,
I do like hearing about a new Gideon model
yeah,
because maybe that means I'm gonna get a new Din and Grogu.
I think you will. I think you'll get a Din all souped up, right? Because doesn't he get souped up at the end?
Well, no, he's kind of the same. I mean, it's really Grogu. Grogu gets more powerful. Right?
IG-88 Grogu.
Yeah, I want to see that. That'd be
IG
cool.
11, IG 11.
IG-11
IG-11, yeah.
with the command card that says no, 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 and it's like he can't be attacked, but he can attack people. Be hilarious.
He did mention some Shadow Point stuff, so anybody else want to watch it, they went into. I kind of tuned out when they came to the Shadow Point, so I didn't really hear anything about that. They did also mention the old objectives, like the miniatures and the models for those, because they asked like, hey, some people want to use this for terrain or their POIs, but some people don't because they might come back. He pretty much said like it's safe to just make it whatever you want now. They don't plan to go back to it, but never say never, right?
Yeah, they won't. It'd be too hard for new players to get it then, right? They'd have to make new boxes and sell it again, which they're probably not going
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, but that was the Will Shick interview. Good watch. Everyone should go watch it. Great watching gaming. Love them. Love watching their stuff. But yeah, you guys got any thoughts on that? Like, Nick, are you excited that they acknowledge like your army is suffering?
Sucks.
to. That's like a, that I can.
I'm sorry,
I,
Nick. I'm sorry. Continue.
I don't know how much credit I can give somebody for that. That's pretty obvious. Like, I mean, so I guess yay.
AMG, you need to fix it because it's so bad that Nick is denying me table side. Dang it! He's like, you're not getting table side no more.
You come to my house, I'm picking the table side.
What about you, Jose? Like, hearing that the guard, they understand the guard's overwhelmed, performing pretty good, and that Will's favorite units are exceptionally doing pretty good right now too.
So I talked about a little bit about this in our chat with when we were talking about how Gar's OP, and honestly, like they need to do two things to turn the knobs on Gar. Anakin needs to go up, regardless. Anakin needs to go up. I don't care who says no. I don't care if you're having fun. Anakin is criminally underpriced. They need to take a look at Tempted. I think. I mean, strike me down. Just revert it back to just taking a dark side power because where it is right now, it's too strong, and I don't think you can turn a knob on that unless you make it like a tap where you have to like tap it and it not be a force power, just tap to do it, tap to untap it. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have a recovery card, so that limits that use. And then the other knob that they can turn is just revert the ability to get tactical off of scout moves. Take that away. When they brought that back, I feel like they brought it back because they nerfed fire support, but they didn't see the damage it could do just having new arc troopers be able to abuse that's that same mechanic we had. It's not as bad as when they first did it because you had, here's a Z6 with 20,000 aims. We're not there, but it's still pretty brutal to generate 2, 3 aims in an army that can abuse those aims more than any other army. And sometimes with Gar, like that's all you need is that 1 or 2, aims for the army. Revert that back to tactical doesn't trip off of scout, and that's a good start. Other than that,
I
rebels do
honestly,
need help.
I honestly
Rebels do
think
need help.
the way you fix tempted is making that your attack for the round. So if you choose to attack with tempted or off a charge off of tempted, that's your attack for the round. So you can't attack again.
But
I
it
think
happens out of turn, so that's
I
why you're
know
able to.
that, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
it's
The round.
but that's too. That's and I say this. That's in general. That's too hard to track. That's too hard to play a game that way.
That's
You
true.
you could do your tempted in the first activation of a round, and then your Anakin goes 10 acts later. I mean, you don't need it. You forget those things
People
innocently,
forget to
right? And
even
then you
use
attack
it
again.
sometimes.
Yeah, so it can't be something that's backed out of active.
That's what I'm saying. Make it a tap. Like if
Yeah,
you want to tap it, you're good, but you have to spend an action to recover it to get it back. You're still lock it into once per turn, but at least having a tap makes you have to waste an action to flip it. So it gives you more agency to use it when you really desperately need to, or have a downside of having to waste an action to bring it back up.
Or just remove it completely.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably the right answer.
That is the right answer. I think
Yeah,
it's just
he's
too good.
busted.
It's
He's
too
busted,
good.
but yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with the gym, so the way it works now, like it's super good now, but like it's with tempted. Oh my god, get out of here! Just remove it. How would you
You're
fix
just a
Rebel,
hater.
Nick?
Say
Yeah,
again?
I am hating on Anakin. It's too good. It is cheap. It's ridiculous. No, Nick, how would you fix a Rebel?
Yeah. Um,
Red saves. Make it a red
no,
save army. We'll just play red saves from here on out
no,
3.0.
not red saves. Gosh, make their heroes better, all better. Like
Define that.
all, um, every rebel hero, with the exception of the Force heroes, give them some type of independent. Um, Let us take more command cards. Give us contingencies for free, and not even contingencies. Rebels should just be able to take more command cards. Bill, as rebel players, should be able to take 10 command cards. With just, I have a hand of 10.
Do you really feel the struggle of what command cards you need to take when you're taking a hero hammer list?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got so many 2 pips I want to take. I got so many 1 pips I want to take. Now yeah, there's so many. Gosh, especially when I'm playing a list of Jin, Cassian, K2, Bad Batch, Din. I mean, I got a lot of cards I want to take. Um and redo.
I'm like excited and annoyed for June of next year to finally get everything to see what else changes. But the fact that we have to wait for that, it's kind of like, okay, we already have the new rules, we have the new changes. Would you guys rather play the old Legion until June of next year, or would you
Yes.
rather? Would you really?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I
If
would.
they
Yes.
Well, so are you saying we didn't know about the new Legion?
Yeah, yeah. You didn't know about it, and then they announced it this upcoming June with everything.
Yes.
Would have been better. 1000%.
I
Yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
better. Yeah, because if I so I don't know about it, right?
Mhm.
I don't even know it exists. I'm playing a game that I mean at least I have everything I'm supposed to have. They didn't even have the half range tool. I'm cutting out pieces of paper for my tokens. I mean, come on.
But let's
that that almost killed me even more so than not having all the cards. That I'm cutting out objective tokens off of paper.
let's be honest though. At the time before the announcement, Legion was getting stagnant, right? It
Not
was
for me.
it was the same thing over and over. I was feeling the burn for Legion. It's just like we play these objectives all the time. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to go every game. So I was feeling the burn. I don't know if you guys are feeling the burn.
So for me, I was feeling the burnout of Gar.
Mm.
And when I swapped to Dooku and CIS, it brought the fun back because yes, I am playing the same missions that we've been playing, but I have to attack them differently because my faction is now different. So I got rejuvenated play experience by swapping my faction. I was burnt out with Gar. So I could have easily played until June and played CIS.
So
Okay.
true. I agree. It was yeah. I agree it's definitely stagnant. I totally agree with that, JR. But now I feel um a little bit like I'm wasting my time
Mhm.
because knowing that the cards I'm using is not part of this game, that there are more cards that, and so just by saying that you've admitted to me that playing with cards from another game, then why am I like putting the effort or time to learn how to play this game with these cards that aren't even the right cards? It's not even the I'm playing I'm not even playing the right game. So I'll just go play MCP and Shatterpoint. I have all the stuff for that.
Mhm.
When I play that game, I feel like that's valid. That I'm playing the game
Same
that I'm
integrity.
actually playing. I don't like. Am I even playing the game right now?
Makes sense.
It's playing you.
So I get Nick's point on like why he's playing more Shadowpoint and MCP. But Jose, you just said that you felt rejuvenated when you started going to CIS, and now with these new rules, it's kind of I don't. Do you feel like it's also rejuvenated you a little bit more, or do you think it kind of like puts you in a stagnant? Because you've kind of been playing more MCP now as opposed to
Yeah.
Legion. What do you how do you how did that come about?
Um. So how can I say this?
I know the answer. I run a great league.
If I
Suck it,
hold on,
Rob. No, I'm kidding. I'm
if I
kidding. I'm
can't pick
kidding.
table side, Nick, how good of a league is it?
Oh, it's so wonderful. Nobody even cares about table side.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I could tell you if it's a good league or not by one answer that you need to give me. Can I proxy?
No.
Oh, horrible, horrible.
He said
With
horrible. No, so on
we're
answering your
AMG, we're
question.
AMG sponsored.
Oh shoot. Not after the last podcast we did. No. So here's the thing. I've played a handful of games with 3.0, and yes, it's 3.0 because Will Schick said in a previous interview it should have been 3.0. So 3.0. I've played a handful of games with 3.0, and I'm getting the same feeling of the same type of cards, if that makes sense. So for instance, Old Legion, you got, you got KP, you got Intercept, you got all this different stuff, right? We have these new system, new cards, new ban phase, and you know what I'm seeing? The same green card wanting to be taken, the same objectives wanting to be taken, the same this, like, and most players are bringing the same stuff. Now, granted, that's probably because um we don't have more cards, and I expect that to change when they bring faction specific advantages and maybe faction specific objectives and secondaries and stuff like that. But as of right now, like it's the same thing, just a new paint. Like it's here's my 2001, no, here's my 1999 Honda Civic EX. Cool, that's Old Legion. Here's my 2000 Honda Civic EX. It's the same situation, just looks a little different. Um, See, playing CIS is what's keeping me involved in Legion because I love being playing. I played Gar for like 2 years straight. I mean, 2 years straight. Like my LVO list, my return to LVO list, literally the title of the name was last year's list but better. It's just I was only playing guard. So when I switched to CIS, I had a blast because yes, I was playing the same objectives, but I needed to play them differently. I couldn't just hunker down, ball up, wait for my red saves, all this stuff, you know. And then New Legion happened, and in the beginning, I was like, I disliked it. I had a very big dislike for it. Came around, got warmed up to it, but then after playing so many games, it's the same thing, just newer cards.
But you
People,
good.
good.
No, I was just gonna say, but you could say that about every game, right? Especially Shadowpoint and MCP. Like, well, maybe not Shadowpoint.
No. So I can after playing 4 was it 4 games Nick? Or five?
Five.
Five. Okay, so after playing 5 games of MCP in my first ever MCP league, I can confidently tell you in all 5 of those games, I never played the same blue card. And in all 5 of those games, I probably played the same red card twice.
Well,
And in those 5 games, we get the ten, what are they called, Nick? The 10 little,
Tactics cards.
the what?
tac-
The tactics
Tactics
cards.
card.
I out of all my games of MCP, there were only 3 tactics cards, 2 to 3 that I played all the time, and my opponents all had different tactics cards. So there was really no, even playing somebody who had X-Men, like it wasn't even a mirror match. Like nothing was repetitive in MCP. I can't say the
Some,
same thing about Shatterpoint because I don't play Shatterpoint that much, but at my experience in a full league, first time league ever, I can confidently say didn't play the same thing blue wise
but
at all and played twice.
honestly,
well, some
go ahead, Nick.
some of that's just by design too, though. Some of that's just by design. The different differences of design between the two games because MCP you don't get to pick; it's all random, and there's no like banning or passing and everything. So you pick a random card and a random card, so the chances you're going to be playing different missions is much more high versus because I guarantee you, if MCP did have the same rule set as Legion, where you got the ban, you would be playing the same mission, would just be banning to their favorite mission.
It's like you could say that about most games that eventually, as soon as you get the green thumb away from your play experience, you identify what's the best card and where you want to shoot for, right? Like in Legion Advanced Intel, you wanted your advantage right now to more cards get released. But every game that as soon as you get out, play and play and play, you're gonna get, oh, I really want this card. This really gives me that advantage, and everybody
but you
recognizes that.
but you're not guaranteed that in MCP.
Sure,
And
Sure.
even to the point of MC, even to the credit of NCP, they got restriction lists. Like they got restrictions. Like you can only run 2 restricted cards, and after that, you whoa,
uh-oh, uh-oh,
oh no, Nick.
got dropped.
He'll come back. Even then, you can only carry 2 of those restricted cards with you, and there's more than 2 restricted cards. Um, so like you're not gonna see that. And the reason that they have that is because people were abusing specific cards that they're like, oh, we're trying to avoid this, we're gonna make this restricted.
Sure, and no hate on MCP or anything. I just think
No, I
that,
know you're not.
yeah, it's I understand the randomness, and that's one thing that they did say in the interview with Will Schick. Will was pretty much saying that when they approached the balancing aspect of Legion, they do it not always the competitiveness, like the super hardcore fans or the super hardcore competitive people. They do it in the overall of just like, is this fun? People want to have fun. People want to go ahead and be super competitive. Like, so some units aren't going to always be for competitive reasons, which kind of hurts because it's just like I want my droidicas to be good, but it seems like droidicas are more for like, hey, if you want to run droidicas, here you go, have fun with it. You know what I mean? Which is fine. That's okay. Like everybody doesn't want to be super competitive in Legion, and I get that. Like nobody wants to be always playing this stress version of the game. Um, but yeah, I just it's interesting. It's interesting because like
It's
I was
gonna
good.
go. No, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, hearing your point of view and like why the transitioning you're making, it's fascinating to think about because just like personally, I love Star Wars Legion. Like, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and then Legion is just that. It's pretty much an army game where you're fighting them. Shatterpoint is definitely have that like appeal to it of being smaller and more hero based and everything, but it's just like it's not the same as Legion, right? So it's just like, okay, what is it that is pulling or pushing people to Legion or away from Legion?
Yeah, no, 100%. I get the Legion part about it. And I love Legion. I really do. The problem I'm having right now is, and I'm gonna say this right off, like time is not a thing for me because like I've had games where I showed up after work at 8 and me and Pet are playing and the game goes to like midnight almost and we're just chit-chatting, you know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's not really a time. It could be a time saver if you want, but it's not really. But uh it's the accessibility of it. Like right now, we got guys going to school, we got guys doing this. I work a full-time job, I got a family. And right now, like I'm not speaking for everybody, but just in my personal overview, it seems like it's hard for people to get games in, period. Because let's face it, a lot of us are still taking a long time because we're learning stuff. But at the same time, like nobody like has nobody, it doesn't seem like nobody wants to play a long game when you can play these shorter ones right now. And some of the stuff is like agency, like we'll talk about later, but like our league was very, you have 2 weeks to do this game, get it done, let me know what's up, And even that 2 weeks, it was hard for people to get together and make time for a game, to where Rob was like, hey, just play them when you can, play them before this. And even with that window, where some of us are still having problems, getting games in, you know what I mean? I'm making it to the point where, like I told you, like I'm traveling to Visalia to go play my game, which is 2 towns over.
Mm.
And that to me, that's dedication. If I didn't like playing Legion, I'm not going to Visalia. I'm not driving an hour to Visalia to play a fucking board game. Um, but it is what it is. I think I understand your thing with with Shatterpoint. And I get your thing with MCP, but what I will say is, if you just give MCP a go, you'll see the draw of it, regardless of the factions. Like I play like this league. I played only X-Men because I only like X-Men. I don't like a lot of things Marvel, but there are specific things that I like, and so I play X-Men. But playing in the game, like the more time I played it, I did realize I was having more fun with it than Legion. That is true, but I still do have fun with Legion. It's just it's for some reason it was just easier to get MCP games. Like, it's crazy how easy it is, and these are Legion players, ex-Legion players,
Well,
you know.
I'm going to challenge you on that. And the reason I'm going to challenge you on that is because the 2 week window didn't work for some people. And then Rob had lifted the 2 week window. And in that week that he released the 2 week window, I got in one, two, three league games in 1 week. And I'm having a league game tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's you though. That's you and your opponents. But I'm saying, like, you look at the other opponents, like it's not that easy. Like Dallin's part of our league, and I'm driving over there to make sure we can get it done. Um, Roman's squeezing him in where he can. Some people, aren't even responding. It's just that's the way it is. Like, I don't know, it's harder. It's harder to get Legion games in.
So
But it's not because it's not fun. It's still fun. It's
I,
just
I'm
harder
more
to get
I'm,
it
I'm
in.
more curious. Like Nick, earlier before we started recording, you said you know what the appeal is for MCP than Legion. I want to know your take on that. What do you think it is?
Yeah, so the appeal, at least for me, and I'm guessing probably for at least a few other MCP and Shatterpoint versus Legion, I can bring anything to the table in MCP or Shatterpoint and have a good time and play a game. I can't do that with Legion. In our game that we could probably talk about is the
Mm.
exact example of that. In Legion, and this is not really to say this is a negative. It's just a different type of game. But for a pretty, for the majority, a pretty casual gaming community that we have, at least in these games, I think that's more appealing, that I can show up with the models I want to play with, and I'll have a good time and I'll play a game, versus if I show up just with anything to Legion, I'm slaughtered by turn two.
So your argument is that you can bring the Sentinel droids that are bad, right? The ones from X-Men, and have a good time playing somebody that's playing a more competitive MCP like list.
Yes, I'll still
Yep.
lose. I'll lose, but we'll play a game, and I'll be able to do things, and I'll still be able to wound some of their guys. I'll still be able to score some points. I won't feel like as soon as I
Yeah,
sat
blown
down
out.
that it's just going to be a disaster.
And I honestly agree with you on that, because I agree that, like, when I have a unit on the table that hasn't got to act or do anything, just get wiped off the table, it's a really feel bad move. And I honestly think Legions is a very heavy tactical game that you have to think like at least 5 steps ahead, right?
It,
Where
it's it, yes, it's just more. And again, I don't want to make it sound like the negative. It's just the kind of game it is. Like Warhammer, right? I used to play a ton of Warhammer. I would get absolutely slaughtered when I played it in the couple of tournaments I played in here locally. I mean, I got prizes for being absolutely last, in those tournaments.
So you were Toby.
He got Toby
You got
prizes.
Toby prizes.
And that's so that's the kind of game it is, right? You have to very meticulous with your army building. You have to have a plan. You know,
which
is good. But if you're, and this is maybe more about our community here, and again, not everyone. Yes, we have some very competitive players, but a lot of our players are just like, I just want to play the game. I just want to have some fun.
Well, adding on top of that, like the whole I'm gonna bring this list for fun, and you're gonna bring this list for fun, and we're gonna play casual does not protect you from you have a high probability of getting shit on, losing a unit, and a giant snowball happening. Like that sucks.
I think not as much as you think, and I think my 2 games of the league is a perfect example of that. This last 2 week, I played 2 league games with the same exact list against 2 different opponents. I had 2 very different experiences.
Okay, I feel like I'm a part of this, so let's go into this. Let's dive into this. Tell us your experience.
So my list was, I'm playing Rebels, right? I'm playing Jin, Boba Fett, Rebel Troopers. I had a squad of Wookiees, a squad of Bandos, a squad of Commandos. I had a bus. So I got a squad of Rebel Troopers, squad of Fleets. I got a little bit of everything, Rebel right? Soup. Yeah, it's almost a Highlander list. I've like no repeat.
It's a rebel ramen.
R2 and C3PO were my other units in there.
That's really messed up.
But that's the thing. This was just like a fun list. Units I've not played. Can't remember the last time I played C3PO. Can't remember the last time I played Boba Fett or Mandos or anything like that. And I played JR and I played Mike. JR showed up with CIS G-Notion spams and your staps, right?
Yeah, stap and
G-Notion staps and Maul.
Yeah.
And Michael played Rebels also. And Michael had, he had a little bit of everything too. He had Luke, Wookiees, Fleets, Dish, Cassian. So he had a little an eclectic group as well. I don't know if he played a similar list against you, JR. I know you played him also.
Yeah. But in my game, he played man, we played so much, like we played at least once a week, but in my last league game with him, what did he play? Well, keep going. I'll get to it when I remember.
Yeah, and so my game with JR was over turn 0. It was over. It was over right away. As soon as one, I mean, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even brought that list to play you. I shouldn't have brought the list.
You should have known better.
Well, I knew it was a bad list. I knew JR was not bringing a bad list. So I was like, I should have changed it after the fact. I should have just changed it. It was like silly because and I apologize to JR because I felt like, I don't know, I wasted your time a little bit because there was no way that list was gonna win anything.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because I wanted to ask you something. In the middle of when we were playing our game, okay, we were playing Bunker Assault, and this is both our first experience playing Bunker Assault. Actually, yeah. I played one time with John, but it didn't really count because we were both learning the game. And on your left side, my right side, your bunker, you had what's it, Boba, the Wookiees, and the Commandos. You put the Commandos in the open, sort of, right? They had light cover, and the Wookiees kind of in the open. Were you just giving me the game at that point?
At that point, I had to go to the point, right?
Right.
And that was the other thing. This is also why I said it was over turn 0. And it was just happenstance, right? The table was pre-set up before. Yep. There was tons of line of sight blocking, but just so happened, Bunker Assault, both of my POIs were in the open.
Yeah.
I could not could not test my POIs, even have cover, right? The one was, nothing was even near it, and the other one was way too far for the building. So as soon as I saw that, well, on turn 2, I have to a unit there. I mean, I have to. If I don't, and I'm already losing the game. So I had to bring them out, and I knew as soon as I did, they were going to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Question. Same table setup, bunker assault, you're out in the open. Does it really change the outcome playing Rebels with any other list? Because you're still putting white saves out in the open.
Yes, a little bit maybe, because I could have had better firepower against the Geonosians. You know, Boba Fett is probably one of the worst operatives in the Rebel list. I mean, he didn't do anything. So, I mean, do I win the game? No, I probably still don't win the game, but at least maybe it's not as bad. Where it's like,
Gotcha.
oh, like turn 1 I stayed back, but then turn 2 I had to go out there and then I just died. You know, it's just kind of right when the Genocians can move, shoot. I can't do that, right? I could only move and then move, or move and shoot once. So, you know, I brought up a unit and they would just die.
So what was your experience with Michael?
We had a fun game. We had a good fun game.
Nobody has fun playing Jared.
Hold on. I wanted to make a note with that. The game that you didn't have fun, you did lose. The game you did have fun, you won. I feel a little bias here going on.
Oh no, I barely won. I won off of a couple die rolls. If a couple die rolls went Michael's way, he wins.
Yeah.
So we had a fun game. Rebels fighting rebels. So we both stink.
So okay. Here's a better question.
He's not getting 18 Geonosian dice to the face out of cover.
Yeah. I'm rolling my 12 white white dice fleets, getting 2 hits total.
Man, Michael, when he plays us, his white saves are on fire and his white attack dice are on fire. I'm just like, I literally.
My white attack dice
okay,
2 hits at 12.
Okay. I'm literally making Michael the king of the white dice, because it's like he's rolling red saves or red attack dice. Every time he rolls, I'm just like, oh my God, man. Okay, so with that being said, off your 2 experience, here's my question for you guys' MCP league. Do you have anybody in your league that's competitive for MCP the way I am competitive with Legion?
No.
We can.
No.
I'm not gonna.
No. I don't want to say can. I want to say is there.
No. So no. Hold on.
No.
No, he's not going to answer this. He's not going to answer this.
No, Jose, not even close.
I say can. I say can because there's one that I believe could go to LVO and MCP and probably have a run. Josh is so good.
Okay, no.
And he plays Guardians. Get out of here, Nick. One of the top list Guardians.
But that wasn't JR's question. JR didn't ask if there's any good players. He asked if there's any competitive players like
I'm saying he could. I believe he could.
But does he want to?
If he wanted to.
Like, I think honestly, Nick, you're a great Legion player, but you could be super competitive, but you don't want to, right? You just want to have
I don't want to.
Yeah, you just want to have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. So then Nick, are you also running the Shatterpoint League?
No, Kevin's running the Shatterpoint.
Okay, same question for the Shatterpoint League. Is there anybody in the Shatterpoint League that is competitive as I am to Legion?
Yeah, we have some competitive players in there. Yeah, because we have some X-Wing guys in there. And they were always pretty competitive with X-Wing.
Okay. Because like I'm curious, is like I feel like our local area is more a casual group. Like they don't want to overthink things. They just want to go and have a good time, have fun, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. And I think that's why we might be seeing a little decline in our local group. And honestly, it's got to be the people just don't want to play against super competitive people. Because like if you really think about it, the people that have dropped our league were all in the Bart League in last league, which I thought was a great idea. Just we didn't get a lot of more Bart people for this coming or the current league. What do you guys think about that?
Well, okay, we do have some pretty competitive gamers in this area. I think just not in these specific. Like I know there's some very competitive Warhammer players out there. X-Wing was pretty competitive. I think it's just maybe just these games. It's not super competitive, but it's also not very big groups either. I mean, MCP, there's less people really playing MCP. So
We're gonna
it,
change that.
What are you doing on this podcast, my man?
I still play Legion. I have rights to this podcast. When I stop playing Legion, then I'll bow out and be like, light my Anakin on fire in front of everybody as I leave.
well, I've been thinking that maybe I do need to go to LVO and play something different so I can get my bubble burst a little bit, because I am living in this kind of quasi fantasy land of playing these games of MCP and Shatterpoint and having fun. I've never played a tournament. It really changed my outlook on the game. Right, I've gone and played. I've never played in an MCP tournament. I honestly don't know what that would be like, if it would be totally different from my experiences, that it would make me think differently.
Which brings me to another question I have for the both of you. This year's been a crazy year, new rules for Legion. You guys are enjoying more games, other games. Are you guys still wanting to go to LVO? And if so, is it for Legion or do you want to go for a different game now?
Definitely still going to LVO. I don't know what I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's the question. I'm curious.
And this is why. And again, this is very specific to the army I'm playing. Again, I didn't get every, like they said, I have not gotten all of my updates. It would have been better if they just never told me that. Don't even tell me that. Ignorance is bliss. They should have said, nope, that's it. We're done. This is the new game. Play your cards. That would have been so much better for my mindset, because now I'm just like, oh gosh. I mean, so what's going to change?
Well, not taking away from me. I love that you play Legion with us, but not to. Jared's probably gonna smite me right now. Josh is thinking about going to LVO and he's going to play MCP. Well, he's thinking about MCP or Legion, but if he did MCP, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't want to go do MCP. That'd be fun for you guys. You guys are MCP guys like that. You guys are good
what about
enough.
you, Jose? What do you want to do?
Oh, Legion. As much as I'm enjoying MCP, like I am still playing Legion. I love the competitive environment. I am super competitive. I'm not as good as you. Though like I've had like what 3 or 4 of our games come down to just the baddest luck in the world. Son of Skywalker whiffing back to back, Anakin rolling surges to kill a unit when I don't have surges. Like I've those moments are burned into my mind because you and Nick are two of the players that I've never beaten in my whole Legion career. And to know that I've been close on every one of them eats at me. But I am right up there with you with super competitiveness. I know Rob is up there with super competitiveness. You could just tell when we play it's competitive. Me and you will have a game. You and Rob will have a game. Me and Rob will have a game where like, yeah, this is chill, casual game. A turn in, we're like, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like we're angry. And that's just what it is. But it's LVO's is I'm competitive. I'm a competitive player at heart. Like I have zero interest in traveling for MCP to be competitive. I don't I don't even care. That doesn't pique my interest. I don't follow MCP tournaments. I don't follow Shatterpoint tournaments. Like that's not competitive like where I want to be. Competitiveness, I'll travel for Legion and not have a single issue about it. Like I don't like 3.0, but I'm going to fuck if I'm not going to go to LVO and play Legion.
Language.
Like I'm going to go and bring the heat.
So like I think that's what I'm gonna do from now on. Is whenever I face an opponent, is like, hey, do you want to have fun or do you want to play competitively? Because like my list I played against you, Nick, was my list I'm practicing for LVO. So I just like wanted to grind it out and see what I need to do better. But like, it might have been a better experience if I was just like, hey, Nick, do you want to do fun or do you want to do, more competitive? Which probably would have been a better outcome, right? Because yeah, that list was just really gross when I get your list. It just deleted stuff left and right. I felt bad. I was just like, when you moved your guys to that other bunker, I was just like, I think he's throwing the game right now. I think he just wants the game to be over with. I was like, oh, okay, Nick, my bad.
You just ignore them to drag the game out.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. But yeah, no. Just some food for thoughts. Curious on everyone's take and everything.
I'm not gonna lie. Side note, if not LVO, like if Josh, Caleb, Nick were like, hey, let's go to Bay Area and there's a MCP tournament, like I wouldn't mind going if that's the plan. But LVO is always Legion, will always be Legion. But like I'm not saying I'm against doing an event for MCP. I just know I wouldn't care about competitiveness. Like I
Which
wouldn't.
great segue, because AMG
Oh.
just came out with the Grand Tournament season, which is taking place in June of 2025 to May 2026, which is a little frustrating because we're still in 2024, and it's just like, okay, so pretty much they're saying we got all the support for you guys next year. It's like, okay, but we're here right now. Where's the support, right? So I don't know. Did MCP get something like this, or Shadowpoint? Do you guys know?
No, this is for all. This is for all,
This
right?
encompasses everything.
Oh, okay. This
Everything.
is everything.
Everything.
Well,
Okay.
the 3 games that are left. It used to be 5, but it's 3 now.
The ship games exploded.
So yeah, that's Shadowpoint, MCP, and Legion. That's the 3 games
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yep.
They came out with a Grand Tournament season where you're, what I'm saying, you can apply to be qualified as a Grand Tournament for AMG, and they have a set of rules on their website. I'll ask you guys in a little bit if anything pointed out to you particularly, but what kind of pointed out to me, and I think what's most important to everybody, is the prize support. So if you qualify for a Grand Tournament, which would be so cool if we qualify for the Vet Fest.
Bet Fest, we gotta get it there, bro.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
No, we need 32 players.
Not with that attitude. Just stop doing MCP at Vet Fest, jerk.
It would actually improve our chances if I did MCP at
That's true. And Shadowpoint, right? Because it doesn't have to be all Legion players, right? 32 just to maximize.
You have to have 32 for each game you're running.
For each game.
Lame.
Yeah, so no, MCP would hurt us. You need to bring
no. Well, I think if we did a Grand Tournament, the fact that there wasn't a lot in this area, I think we could maybe get 32 players coming in from Sacramento and different places.
It got bigger this year. Like we're working our way up.
Bigger. And that's what I'm gonna like kind of scream at AMG about for a little bit. They literally said, I don't know if it was this year or last year, that they are not doing a Worlds tournament that's closed to support smaller communities. We are a very small community, and this is clearly for a bigger community. So the question is, where's the support for the smaller communities?
Yeah, California is so small, we didn't have any Grand Tournaments for.
Are you being sarcastic?
Sort of, I suppose. We did it though. There was no
sarcasm.
There was no Grand Tournaments in California.
I think that's because like the new rules came out. We're trying to figure everything out. I'm sure, just like you had mentioned, Nick, a long time ago about X-Wing, when they changed the new rules, you get a lot of people that drop for reasons because of the new rules and everything. I feel like Legion's going through that right now. There's a lot of people excited for it. There's a lot of people that are just like, I didn't really care that much. I don't want to play. And there's a lot of people just like, well, now I got to learn a new game, And maybe that's why we didn't get any Grand Tournaments this year.
I think it was partly also they gave you we had a week to apply last time. At least they're giving people more time this time. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that we didn't get anything, right? Even though we don't have huge events here, but we do have a couple.
Well, we do. I guess you're right. That's the San Francisco one.
Yeah. SoCal,
right? Isn't there one in Sacramento?
If there is, I can't think of it.
Yeah, I think there was. I think Toby went to that one. A couple weeks ago, I went to Manteca, and I went to a local game shop there and asked them about their Legion community, and they said they got a good Legion community going on. I was like, oh, maybe I'll move to Manteca. We'll see.
He said move. There's a celebration, Return of the Jedi moment. Everybody's shooting off fireworks. JR's gone. Your AI body's just burning in a fire pit, and we're just celebrating.
Like we could just play casual now. But yeah, so the prize support, and I'm gonna go off that right now, is what I think is pretty cool is the participation prize. That's 2 non-foil alternate art cards and 6 dice. Super cool.
Yeah, so I know you get the dice now, but you didn't get 6, right? With only 3?
No, well, I mean, the only dice we ever got was from LVO, and they just kind of handed them out like candy. Like everyone got a ton.
No, Grand Tournaments though. Grand Tournaments right now, you get dice just for playing.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
If you go to any Grand Tournament with any of the 3 games, you get dice just for playing.
Official dice, like for
Official
MCP
dice.
and Shatterpoint,
Yes.
they
Yes.
have official dice, like
Yes.
cool
yeah,
dice.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
I'm a
marble.
sucker for official dice.
They're
Yeah.
marble.
Yeah. Any game, but I don't know if I need to go check. I don't know if you got 6 though. I think 6 is more, but maybe you get 6 now.
Which is cool because like me and John were looking over this, and like you,
I did the marble dice for
Yeah,
Legion.
I think they're gonna
Those
be
are
marble.
ugly. Nope, never mind. I don't want
so they got marble black, they got marble white defense die, and marble red defense die. You don't have clear ones of those. I'm down to get those ones.
But JR,
just give me clear black and I'll call it even.
You're not gonna get any. Me and Jose are gonna get dice when we go to LVO. You're not gonna get any. I'm sorry.
How am I not gonna get any?
You're not gonna be playing in the Grand Tournament. You're gonna be playing in the Invitational.
I can do both.
You can only do one round, one day. The Grand Tournament, the second day of the Grand Tournament's the first day of the Invitational.
Is it?
I thought you could. No, because I thought if you went so far in the Invitational, you get into the Grand Tournament.
No, so remember, AMG is sponsoring the Grand Tournaments. Grand Tournaments are open, no invites, right? Grand Tournaments are open. The LVO is an invitational that you got an invite for, JR. So you're going to be playing the invitational where there is no AMG's prize support.
I need to figure this out.
I'm going to call LJ.
I'm going to get all the prizes. You're not going to get any prizes.
All right, LJ will hook us up. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll give us some dice.
I mean, I don't want to but I feel like you would get in trouble. Like that would jeopardize the Grand Tournament.
I technically have a Grand Tournament ticket right now because I wasn't sure if I was going to win VetFest for the Invitational. So I got to either sell that ticket or do something with that ticket. We'll see.
I thought they were supposed to reimburse you once you got your invite.
I think he has the option to sell his ticket.
Maybe you're right, Nick. I haven't looked too much into it because life. So I'll have to hit LG up or go back to my invitation or read it correctly.
Oh no, wait, no, I'm sorry. No, I don't think you get reimbursed. It just gets transferred.
Oh,
you still got to pay to go, right? You still got to pay in a tournament.
Yeah,
I think they just take your Grand Tournament ticket and make it the invitational tournament.
Perfect. Okay, that would be a whole lot easier if I don't have to buy another ticket because I haven't even. I need to just.
Double check, but I don't think you have to.
But other than that, let me know if anything sticks out that's new, Nick, because I didn't know that for the participation prize you get some dice, but for the top 8 you get 3 foil cards. Is that new?
That is
no. You always got foil cards for top 8.
No, yeah, I got top 8 before.
It's new cards. I think the understanding is it's new card foils.
I gotta go find the old document. You got foils no matter what, but maybe there were special foils that only the top 8 got. I guess that does make sense.
Because I got top 8 for VetFest. I got those.
But foils. No, but these are all the prizes from Adepticon.
Yeah.
At least this year, right now, these are the same things that Adepticon they've been giving them out at the Grand Tournaments, and that we're going to get at LVO.
Gotcha.
And then for the top 4, which I think is kind of lackluster, is acrylic tokens. So whoever.
I love acrylic tokens. Quit hating.
I don't know for the top 4 though, right? The top 4 should get the 3 foil cards.
You're not even talking about the best acrylic thing that's on there. I'm gonna buy that off of eBay because now some sucker's gonna sell it.
What? The dashboard?
the scoreboard. It's gonna be acrylic.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. So the winner is gonna get. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone, guys. Hold the phone. Here is the most important thing for the winner that's getting. It's not the acrylic game dashboard. I don't even think it's the buy for Adepticon. It's the trophy. We're finally gonna get trophies, everybody.
No, it's the buy you're talking about.
No. For me, it's a trophy. It's like, okay, I get a trophy. But yes,
Even remember his victims by.
Nick is correct. The buy is the important thing for Adepticon 2026. Open Worlds, Grand Tournament happens. So yeah, that's it. Anything else you guys want to comment on the rules, the kind of format they're laying out? You guys' opinions on it?
I think it'll just be interesting to see who gets picked this year. That will this next year. It's hard to say this year is still going, but for the next season, who gets picked next season? Because last time you had no time to apply,
Yeah.
barely any time. Shatterpoint was still very new. It was interesting to see the places that got grand tournaments. Like it was like Legion, it was pretty much only like the big conventions grand tournament. But for like Shatterpoint, smaller games, like just stores got grand tournament status. Mm-hmm. Be curious to see how that kind of shakes out this year. And like I said, California got nothing. So we'll see if California can get something this next year. I think Canada had more total grand tournaments than all of California, like all of California.
Damn.
So,
well, speaking of that, one thing I want to point out is that they have a section that's called application advice. So advice to get in your tournaments approved. One of the points says can support all 3 game lines. Maybe that's why we didn't get anything in California, because I don't know of any mainstream Shatterpoint or MCP tournaments in California. And maybe they're looking for people to support all 3 of those games. And I don't know if there's a big community for those yet.
I feel like I don't recall that being the last document. I felt in the first season document, I thought it just said any game line, any game you pick, just it has to have a certain number of players. Like I said, there was a lot of places that only ran Shatterpoint GTs and got status, and they were just stores. They weren't like big cons. So now it's maybe tougher because now if 2 people sign up for something and you're both in the similar area, but one's got all 3 and you don't, well then
they're gonna go with that one.
That would make sense.
Well, what's also interesting is that the event must have at least 32 players per game line they intend to support. How do you prove that? How do I prove
Longshanks player numbers?
Well, how? If this is next year, I could apply now. How can I prove that I'm going to have 32 participants?
Well, you have to show at least prove that you have the space for it. If proof that you have the space for it, that you can support it. You obviously don't know that you have 32 yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't have 32, they could easily be like your application rejected.
Yeah. What do you guys like this? You don't like it? What are you guys' opinions?
Well, I think it's interesting they added the buy.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because that was something that went away, right? That Adepticon any different, any grand tournament, even though they still were calling it the World Championship, it really didn't mean anything more than any other tournament. So it's interesting that they're giving it an eye now to try to separate it, to try to differentiate Adepticon. And now, depending on the player, and if you're a good player and you're like, I'm going to Adepticon next year and I want to try to win it, well, now I might go to multiple GTs to try to get that buy. Or that player had really no incentive to go to multiple GTs.
You think they're going to hand out multiple buys to one person?
No. I mean,
just to win one.
To win one.
Yeah.
Right? If you were like a player and you went to your GT and you didn't win it, until this came out, there was no reason to go to another GT other than just to go.
Yeah.
Because you weren't going to get anything more out of it. Right? Because before, remember, everyone was chasing the invites. Now, I guess we'll see how many people will chase a buy.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what do you think, Jose? You like this? Dig it?
Yeah, it feels like they're bringing back the competitive aspect of a season. And I'm all for that. Like I said, I'm super competitive. Like Longshanks shows like your win percentages per game, win percentages versus factions. I'm a numbers guy. If I like numbers to brag about. I might not have the best numbers, but I yeah, I win 50% of the time in Legion, but I've played, 1,000 games. Like that's impressive. I've won one MCP game out of 10,000, but hey, I've played 10,000 games. Like my objectives always count. It keeps track of all. I love competitive stuff. Like that's why I like leagues. I like the little feeling of it. But it feels like they're bringing like when they changed everything and got rid of all that stuff, got rid of worlds, people felt like competitive Legion was like trash, like lower than trash, like the goop at the bottom of the trash can trash. This shows some incentive to bring that energy back and adding a buy, like that's so dope. That gives people something to chase. With the tournaments, you always want something to chase. It was the invites, whatever. But it feels like it's a step in the right direction, competitively speaking.
I agree. I like this. I dig this, and I hope Nick's wrong and we actually get Californian Grand Tournaments because that
Bet
would be a
Fest will
bummer.
get there, bro. I'm
Hey,
fully bought
you're
in.
absolutely right. Every year we're getting more people playing Legion. I should just probably not play these people that join, so
Nah,
they
bro, you should
stay.
play.
um, but other than that, I think that's all the news we got for you guys. Jose, you want to hit us some rule questions before we close out?
Yes, sir. Let me pull up my files here. All right, here we go. Just some quick ones I pulled off. We got to start off with the big bad Scar. This is by a Des Tutu. I hope I pronounced that right. Call me captain if Rex is engaged. Once again, some of these may be obvious, some of them maybe not. We cover everything here. He says, I presume he can, as written, looks that way. So, but the question was asked at a local, so I need confirmation, please. If Rex is engaged, is he still allowed to contribute to other attacks against units that meet the Call Me Captain range to and line of sight of him, but are not engaged with him, i.e., as though he's shooting out of his combat? So, Call Me Captain, the old tactic used to be, oh, give me a hug, you're not doing nothing.
Mhm.
JR has mutilated me with that. Cad Bane particularly,
Yeah, yeah.
just dodging. You can't hit me. Danger sense. Sorry. Um. So the question is, call me captain. You just rudely got ran into, and now is your card useless, or can Rex shoot still?
What do you think, Nick?
He's reading the rules.
I know I'm
Stop
reading the
it.
card. I don't know these dark cards. I'm reading the card. All right. I'm gonna say he can add his dice because it doesn't say he's attacking. It just says he gets to add his dice.
So, as we know from the last podcast or the podcast before that, uh, yes, Nick is right because when I was playing Daniel played this card and we were talking and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go into melee," and he's like, "You can, but I'm still gonna do it." I'm just like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yeah, read the card." And I was like, "I must kill Rex right now. I need to kill him."
He must die.
He must die now, or else I'm gonna be screwed. So yes, Nick is right.
Yeah, you guys are right. Seth just said yes. I agree with the kill Rex thing because
Yeah,
that was one of my fears when I played John, and I was like, I gotta kill Rex. Damn it, but it's gonna trigger Anakin. Rex must die.
that's honestly kudos. That makes Rex a little bit better because if you could pull that off, my God, like and if you could pull it off, but like because when me and Daniel were talking about our game after the fact, he's like, what I should have done was run Rex into you at the end of a round because he most likely will survive in an engagement with my bugs, and then play Call Me Captain because now he's safe. He can't get shot at, right? So yeah, yeah.
This is a great feel good story to see that Gar got their command cards redone in the new system so that they're more effective and they do more things. That's just good. That's good.
You know,
Nick looking
all
at his Jin's complete the
I,
mission card
I feel
in
good about that.
disgust.
hey, to be fair, I've still yet to kill Jin in our games. She just evades dying every time I play you. So, all right.
All right. Second question. This is from Crowd Servo 901. Creature withdraw into Relentless. He asks, can a creature trooper use Relentless to make a free attack on the first move action when withdrawing? So can you back that ass
Yes.
up and get Relentless?
So,
Yes.
unless they change creature troopers, and I'm gonna go with they did change creature troopers because withdrawal says you can't attack when you withdraw.
Creature troopers can, though. Says that for creature troopers.
Okay, it still says that, then correct. Then I would agree with you guys that yes, you can.
That says creature troopers may attack and withdraw within the same activation. This does include free attack actions performed as a result of using Relentless keyword. Note, creature troopers may not move into melee during the same activation they withdraw, as with all other units, as all other units may not. And so will most likely perform a range attack using Relentless. So you can back up, but you're gonna have to shoot. You can't back up into a melee and hit the Relentless.
So it'd be smart to just take an aim and then withdraw. Same thing, in fact.
Yep.
Or you withdraw, shoot, and then move so you can get where you need to go.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is what I did against mine.
What did you play Tauntaun too?
I played the exact same list.
Oh, I forgot you had a Tauntaun in that list. That's right.
He's like, I was deleting things so fast I couldn't keep track of what was
No,
there.
it was because it was the first thing I deleted. I was just like, I'm not letting these Tauntauns get close.
It's just a pile of rebel corpses and stuff on his sideboard. All right. More. Nick seems like he's gonna be playing guard next season. I'm just hot take, maybe, you know.
I sold my Gar.
At the wrong time, so stocks are up. You should have held a little longer. Complete the mission token. This is by Kosusak? Whatever. Sorry, bro. I screwed that up. It's Kauczuk. Maybe I just can't read and I'm dumb. He says, hi, can you place it so that it's not 100% on terrain? For example, the bridge. Thanks.
So like overlapping.
That's just all you put. Can you place it so that can you place a complete the mission token so that it's not 100% on terrain?
I assume that's what he meant, overlapping. So yes, if it's area train. No, if it's obstacle.
I'm just gonna
You can't place complete the mission on obstacle terrain?
Not overlapping. Well, okay, that's a little confused about the question.
Yeah, I got Seth's answer. I'm just trying to figure it out.
So you can place it fully on obstacle train. It can't be half on, half off obstacle. Over area train, yes, it could be half on, half off, or fully.
Why is there a difference? Like, is there rules for?
Because
yes, yeah, there's different rules for area train and obstacle train.
Okay, I don't play tokens up there.
what's the answer?
So Seth says, hi there. Priority mission tokens do not have any unique restrictions to their placement besides those specified in the complete the mission keyword. As read, within contested territory, it may be placed on terrain of any kind so as long as it fits and stays there. So you can.
Nice.
So screw you, Nick. Gar is
So
still
you,
OP.
so you could put it halfway on a building. Interesting.
That is interesting.
I thought I could be wrong, and maybe the rule book specified only certain tokens. But there's that spot in the very beginning where it talks about what tokens can be put on, but maybe it's not about.
It's just AMG's trying to warm your heart about Gar still getting more stuff. Like they're just giving everything to them.
It's like the developer's main Gar or something. I don't know.
All right, here we go. More Gar. I didn't even know these were all Gar. I was just snapping photos.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure, Jose.
I don't play Gar. I'm a CIS main. Thank you. Bring that Anakin over here. I'll pierce you to death with Dooku. If your dice are as bad as mine, anyways. Uh, Tempted on Emergency Stims. This is by AX Patricks. Probably pronounced that wrong, butchered it. I'm sorry, my man. Can one trigger tempted after a unit that used emergency stims is defeated? So I popped emergency stims so I would not die. And
Oh,
now my unit gets deleted. Can Anakin say no and run over and slap somebody?
that is a very good question. Tempted is, or I'm sorry,
I have to read.
uh,
I have to read Tempted. Was that
after
two?
emergency stems.
No, emergency
Learn your new
stims.
faction, Nick. Learn your new faction.
Emergency stims. I know what that does, and that's you remember the old rule that when you died because of emergency stims, and the bounty hunter is the one that originally hit you, you didn't get the bounty because the stims killed you, not the bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Oh,
stims is
no.
what's killing the unit. So does tempted matter?
Let's find out. I can read it for you.
You
All
guys are
right.
researching. Just
If
shoot
a
into the dark
friendly,
before you read it.
no, we must know. If a friendly
Okay.
unit is defeated by an enemy attack, an
That
attacking
done. Done. No tempted. No tempted.
attempted. Okay, I'm gonna go with the opposite of what Nick said, just to be um
Wrong.
It's the only time we beat you, JR.
Sure, go for it.
Nick's right. Seth says the tempted keyword is used after friendly unit is defeated by an enemy attack. If the friendly unit is defeated at the end of its activation by suffering wounds from its emergency Sims upgrade card, it was not defeated by an enemy attack, and the tempted keyword cannot be used. So there you go. There's a nerf for guard, Nick.
Yay.
Who takes
Yay.
emergency stims nowadays, though? You know,
Does
There's a-
people take E-stims anymore? I haven't seen E-stims and anything.
I've thought about taking him just because it's
Rebels.
bad.
We need all the help. They're
I
gonna
wish
die anyways.
it's
Live
a gear.
longer.
That's a gear slot, right?
Yes.
I wish I could take it on my spiders. The self destruct would be that much more powerful on that.
They're fine.
And I'm not saying they're not fine. It'll just be more easy to do the self destruct. But with that being said, anybody got any last words?
Yes. So just wanted to give a quick little shout out to Mr. Dallin. Sorry, I
Dallin.
butchered that, bro.
Like, get my
Cranberry on
name right, Jose. Dang.
Cranberry on our Discord, and this is awesome. He has done an amazing job at joining our league. We met him a few events ago. He played at our Vet Fest. Killer player, good dude, all around swell fella. He joined our league, and this is no easy feat because he is 2 cities away. Visalia, 2 cities away, Nick.
Two.
Technically two, I
Two, we'll say
guess.
two. So he's 2 cities away, and he has traveled down here on our game nights to invade our place of worship and play our league games. So I decided it might be awesome to pay it forward and make a trip to Visalia. So we are going to play at Game QR. It's their local shop that's in Visalia. I am gonna have to provide the terrain and the table because it doesn't seem like they play a lot of Legion out there. But the fact that we are given a game space is amazing. So I will be traveling out there this weekend for my league game with Alan. He's our last one game at VetFest was like a slugfest. Help hiking his skirt up, running at me, scaring the hell out of me. Bosk bearing down. It was the last game I played of Old Legion, and it came down to can Palp get my B2s dead before they could get their hostage back? The answer was screw Palp, I have armor. You're useless. And we ended the game very, very within time, very awesome. But yeah, so I don't know. Dallin's playing Empire, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a CIS versus Empire matchup. It's going to be loads of fun. So feel free to get in our Discord and give Dallin a shout out, Cranberry. And Jose will have a miraculous battle report next podcast finally, and JR can get off my back about playing Legion.
Honestly, I'll get off your back when you actually set up a league game with me. I've been
We
waiting.
no. We have that set already, you jerk. Don't listen to him. He's full of lies. I after my hard fought battle with Dallin, I get the pleasure of JR probably going to Legends and cleaning me up by turn 2 and realizing he wasted his time and leaves with another finger of mine on his necklace of defeats of Jose.
Well, Nick, any last words?
Make teamwork range 3.
Oh, come on,
That's
Nick.
spicy. I like
Come
it.
on, Nick. Don't give him.
How is that spicy? They made every other ability that was range 1, range 2. Why did my range 2 ability stay range 2?
You generate multiple
They didn't make
tokens across different people.
they didn't make
I take an
coordinate.
aim. These guys get aims.
They didn't make coordinate range 2. They made a range 1. What's up with that? I want range 2 coordinate.
No, you don't need that.
Okay, my last words though is that I just noticed something as I was listening to Jose. There's some units on here. You know how a commander or an operative have like text underneath them, like General Grievous, Sinister Cyborg. There are now some units like Core and Special Forces that have that underneath text. A good example of that is the Wookiees. There's the Kashyyyk Defenders and the other ones, right? So now you have two different. They have that for the Geonosian Warriors and the Sleeper Cells. That makes me think and speculate that we're going to get more Geonosian Warriors that are different than the ones we got, and the same for Sleeper Cells.
Oh, so these are just the bad sleeper cells. I'm going to get the good ones soon.
Yeah, you're going to get the one with the rest saves. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys. And audience, thank you guys for watching. We always appreciate you guys' support. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Later.